Hello, everybody, and welcome to Indie Attack with Kelson
and Woody.
Today we have Terrance the Eyeball. In Terrance the Eyeball, you play a eyeball that is floating through a
Presumably
series...
named Terrance.
Presumably named Terrance, which is just adorable, isn't it? And you are floating through these mazes, and it is a arena puzzle game where you are going from point A to point B.
I don't really know how we classify this genre-wise.
Yeah, what is it?
Control-wise, it almost feels like a shmup. But you're not shooting anything.
How badly did you want dual stick on this, man? Like, I was suffering a little bit with the arrow controls on it because of the physics involved. Yeah. So it's like, what are some of the puzzles? There's lasers, and you sort of, if you go past, there's a lot of just timing.
Okay, I guess let's back this up and try to explain what this game is.
Yeah, it's weird.
There are 4 levels in this game. And each level sort of presents a new obstacle that you have to get through. And how it works is that you are a flying eyeball, and you just have to navigate the environment. Yeah. It's kind of like a platformer without any platforms.
Right. It's a platformer,
but the obstacles you have to get around are more shoot-em-up type obstacles.
It's like a flying platformer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can bump in, and so it's like, if you like, for instance, and you'll see in the video, but if you there's certain things where if you bump them, then in 3 seconds they're going to expand really large, and you have to get the heck out of there, or whatever it is.
There's rotating laser beams.
Exactly, and things that are lots of traps happening.
There's guns, timing things. There's puzzles where you have to hit switches, but then crossing lasers trips them back to normal, so you have to cross them only when they're down, and I kind of think the strength of this game is, I thought this game, the first area when I was playing this, I was like, I picked a bad game to do for Indie Attack.
Yeah.
This is not good, I'm not having fun with this, I don't really think there's anything to talk about. But by the second area of the game, I was like, oh, okay.
It ramps really quick.
This actually has a really good progression.
Exactly.
And it ramps up, and it gets more and more and more interesting as it goes on, and it's a good little microcosm of design.
There's some of these games that we play like this, where they really take their time, and this, the first, like you said, the first area,
the first area
teaches you. It's not great, but it teaches you, but then it really immediately gets to the meat of it, and it gets quite challenging. I found it to be, that it's just dexterity challenging, and you have to. There's physics, like if you bump into stuff, you bounce back, and that's that becomes huge. Like when you have to break through the glass and time your bumps, because then you'll bump back into the laser that's coming. Some of those levels where I had to replay quite a few times, to be quite honest.
And so, overall, it's pretty good. It's not super long, necessarily.
No, there's 4 levels, right?
I think there's
4 worlds.
And, I wouldn't necessarily say it's a must-play. Like I said, it's a pretty good game, and it definitely gets better as it goes along. I'm kind of on the fence on a recommendation for this one. Like, I can't really wholeheartedly say, you need to go play this right now. It's something really cool to experience. But it's not bad.
No, that's how I feel too. If you're jonesing for this kind of game, I've been replaying Super Meat Boy recently, so it's interesting to compare it, because it's sort of like the kind of, only a less, a different version of it.
Super Meat Boy without jumping.
Yeah, without jumping. Lots of differences, but it's just the same kind of frustratingly, specific pattern puzzler, that you have to navigate geography on, and it's like, so my expectations for that kind of game are a little high right now, because I love Super Meat Boy. Anyway, so I would say, if you're in the mood for a puzzler, it's worth your time. It's cool, but it's not gonna blow your mind.
Yeah, it's a decent game, but I wouldn't say it's a must play.